Okay, 7 o'clock, I'll call this common council meeting to order. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The clerk call roll, please.
Evans.
Here.
Foodie. Here. Groton.
Here.
Morose. Here. Muchka. Here. Runge.
Here. Okay, first item of business is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as printed?
So moved.
Second.
Oh, we have a motion and second. Motion by Grattan, second by Foodie.
Well, are we going to amend it to remove that resolution?
I would say that would be the time to do it. You want to bring that up now, Kate?
Yeah, our agenda reflects that there's a resolution to accept the library director's resignation. However, I have reviewed the statute that covers library boards, and that is within the purview of the library board, and I will tell the council that it has been accepted. The letter of resignation by our librarian has been accepted by the library board. So I would amend that to an informational note versus a resolution.
Would you like to amend your motion, Dave?
I would like to amend the motion to rescind 17-2.
Likewise, Jean?
17-2. Okay.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and second to approve the agenda with the omission of resolution 9. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, we have approved minutes of previous meetings. Any questions or comments on the previous meetings? Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion by Morose,
Second.
second by Kayla. Muchka. Get it right. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Carried. Approved minutes of intervening meetings, or a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion by Foodie,
Second.
second by Morose. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Public appearances. We have some attendees tonight. Is there something?
I'm sorry, I'm a little hard of hearing.
Okay. We're on public appearances.
I'm here for the condo association. I don't need to speak, but if you had questions, we would be here to answer them.
That's very good. Okay, thank you. That's coming up in our meeting under Plan Commission, I believe. Okay. And she's the other half of the condo association, so we don't have to take any questions.
All three of us.
All right, very good. Okay, communications. All I have is a thank you from from Carol Schulte. Dan and commission members, thank you very much for the beautiful plaque to commemorate Tom's service. We recently lost Tom Schulte. I did attend his visitation. He was a longtime member of the Plan Commission, CDA, and Board of Appeals. I think he started in '89, so we did present him with a plaque. And I believe there was flowers sent too as well. Yeah, okay, there was flowers as well. So, like I said, I did attend, and they were very appreciative. Tom was a good member. He was always there, always on time, and kind of soft-spoken, but you know, he added his contributed to all the boards that he sat on. So we thank the Schulte family for Tom's service. The only other thing, and I couldn't find it, I got a nice thank you note from the chamber for offering the use of the storage garage out here for their some of their items that they were going to store when they got relocated from Archie Monuments. Dave did have a storage building that opened up, so they elected to go there. Ours was only going to be a short-term solution until Dave had something, but they just wanted to thank us for considering the opportunity for them to be able to rent some space from us. So. Other than that, did the clerk leave anything?
Yeah, do you want me to do it now or
The-
the treasurer?
Well, you can either or. Is it communications or is it a report?
That's a report, we'll wait.
Okay, very good. Next, we have swear in the common council official. Gene, I guess you're the only one that didn't do it yet. So at this time, please take the stand and raise your right hand.
State of Wisconsin, Dodge County, I, Jane Foodie,
I, Jane Foodie,
having been elected or appointed to the office of Alderperson, Ward 2,
having been elected or appointed to office of Alderman Ward 2,
but yet not yet entered upon the duties therefore,
but not yet entered upon the duties therefore,
swear that I will support the Constitution
swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
and will discharge the duties of said office to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right. Can I sign that?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This congratulations goes out to the 3 council members, Jim Runge, Richard Evans, and Jane Forty. Next, I'll open up nominations for council president.
Nominate Dave Groton.
One second.
Motion by Evans, second by Morose. To nominate Dave Groton for council president. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Third and final time, any other nominations? I'll entertain a motion to close the nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Dave Groton.
So moved.
Motion by Morose. Second by Evans. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 1, 2024, appointments to committees. Richard, how would you like to read those?
Sure. Excuse me. Resolution 1, 2024, appointment to committees. Whereas Chapter 2 of the Juneau Code of Ordinances requires that the mayor appoint common council committee representatives at the first common council meeting in April. And whereas the mayor hereby appoints the following individuals to a 1-year term to the following committees. Cable TV, Jane Foodie, Chairman. Community Development Authority, Dave Groton. Covenant Committee, Dave Groton. Finance, Richard Evans, Chairman, Jane Foodie, Kayla Buchka. Personnel, Kay Morose, Chairman, Richard Evans, James Runge. Plan Commission, Dave Groton. Excuse me. Public Safety, Jane Foodie, Chairman, Kayla Muchka, James Runge. Public Works, Dave Groton, Chairman, Kayla Muchka, James Runge. Recreation Committee, Kay Morose, Chairman. Library Board, Jane Foodie. Utility Commission, Richard Evans, Dave Groton. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 16th day of April 2024. I would move for passage of resolution number 1-2024.
Second.
Motion by Evans, second by Muchka. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Evans.
Aye.
Muchka. Aye. Foodie.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Rose.
Aye.
Runge.
Aye.
Resolution 1, 2024 has passed. Okay, Resolution 2, 2024, appointments to the Board of Review. Kay, would you like to read that one?
Sure. Resolution 2, 2024. Whereas Chapter 2.16.10 of the Juneau Code of Ordinances requires that the Board of Review be appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the Common Council. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Juneau that the Board of Review shall consist of the mayor, clerk treasurer, 1 alderman from each ward, and 1 alternate as follows. First Ward, Kay Morose. Second Ward, Kayla Muchka. Third Ward, James Runge. First Ward alternate, Richard Evans. Second Ward alternate, Jane Foodie. Third Ward alternate, Dave Groton. Mayor, Dan Wagner. Clerk treasurer, Megan Buckton. Passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau the 16th day of April 2024. I'd move for passage of Resolution 2, 2024.
Second.
Motion by Morose, second by Grattan. Any further discussion? That is held at 5 o'clock on May, Kaylee?
That's coming up.
Oh,
We have a
okay.
resolution.
All right, no problem, thanks. All right, any further questions or comments on that? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Morose.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Muchka. Aye. Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 2, 2024 is passed. Next, we have Resolution 3, 2023, official newspapers. Excuse me,
3, 2024.
what did I say? Oh, because it's written on here, 3, 2023, official newspapers. But it's not on, but on the paper, it says 2024, okay. Kayla, would you like to read that?
Sure. Resolution 3, 2024, official newspapers. Whereas the Beaver Dam Daily Citizen is a daily newspaper published by Capital Newspaper, Inc. and is a qualified newspaper, and whereas the Watertown Daily Times is a daily newspaper published by Adams Publishing Group and is a qualified newspaper, and now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Juneau that the Beaver Dam Daily Citizen and the Watertown Daily Times are hereby designated the official newspapers for the City of Juneau, passed by the Common Council, the City of Juneau, this 16th day of April 2024. I will make a motion to pass Resolution 3-2024.
Second?
Motion by Muchka, second by Foodie. Any further discussion on that? It's very unfortunate that we don't get any coverage out of either one of these papers. I can't remember the last time we've had a reporter at one of our meetings. Kind of sad. Beaver Dam radio station, that is almost defunct too as far as them doing any coverage. We always used to have Craig Warmbo for years sit in on all the meetings, and he used to even pass his report on to the newspapers, so we did get some coverage. I might have to look in it and see if we can get a little bit better coverage. But enough said. Motion and second, we've got on the floor, so roll call vote, please.
Muchka.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Morose.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 3, 2024 is passed. Resolution 4, 2024, official depositories. Jan, would you like to read that one?
Sure. Resolution 4, 2024, official depositories. Whereas the City of Juneau is hereby required by law to designate official depositories. Now therefore be it resolved that the following bank institutions qualify as public depositories under Chapter 34 of the Wisconsin State Statutes, and shall be and are hereby designated until further action as public depositories for all public monies coming into the hands of the clerk treasurer of the City of Juneau in Dodge County, Wisconsin. Time and demand deposits, Farmers and Merchants Union Bank, Landmark Credit Union, Bank First for LifeQuest. Savings deposits, Farmers and Merchants Union Bank, Landmark Credit Union, Local Government Investment Pool, passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau the 16th day of April 2024. I move to approve Resolution 4, 2024.
Motion by Foodie, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Grattan. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Foodie.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Morose.
Aye.
Muchka. Aye. Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 4, 2024 is passed. Resolution 5, 2024, Jim, you want to take that one?
Sure. Appointments to municipal offices, the weed commissioner. Whereas Chapter 2 of the Juneau Code of Ordinances requires that the following municipal officers be appointed by the mayor for the following terms and be confirmed by the council. Whereas Section 66.97 of the state statutes requires that the following officers be appointed by the mayor for the term and confirmed by the council. The municipal office is weed commissioner by David Beal. Term expires in 4 of 2025. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau the 16th day of April 2024. I move for the passage of Resolution 5, 2024.
Motion by Rungy,
Second.
second by Morose. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Rungy.
Aye.
Burrows.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Footy.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Punchka.
Aye.
Resolution 5, 2024 is passed. Resolution 6, 2024. David, you want to take that one?
Sure. Resolution 6, 2024, appointments to municipal offices, city attorney. Whereas Chapter 2.12.040 of the Juneau Code of Ordinances requires that the following municipal officers be appointed by the mayor for the following terms to be confirmed by the council. Whereas state statute 66.0517, paren 2, paren A of the state statutes requires that the following officers be appointed by the mayor for the term and confirmed by the council. The municipal officers, city attorney, Newberger and Briggs, Sweet and Froley LLP, for a term of till 4 of 2026. Now therefore be it resolved that the common council of the city of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the common council of the city of Juneau the 16th day of April 2024. I move for passage of resolution 6, 2024.
Motion by Groton, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Runge. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Groton.
Aye.
Runge.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Footy.
Aye.
Burrows.
Aye.
Punchka.
Aye.
Resolution 6, 2024 is passed. Resolution 7, 2024. Richard, you want to take that one?
Sure. Resolution 7, 2024, set time and date for the Board of Review. Whereas Section 7D.47 requires that cities hold their tax assessment Board of Review anytime during the 30-day period beginning the second Monday of May. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau will meet to open the Board of Review on Monday, May 6th, 2024 from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at City Hall. Be it further resolved that the Deputy Clerk will publish this notice as a Class 1 notice as required by law, passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau the 16th day of April 2024. I move for passage of Resolution 7-2024.
Motion by Evans,
Second?
second by Footy. Any further discussion?
I just have to clarify that it says that anytime during a 30-day period beginning the second Monday of May, but Monday, May 6th is the first Monday of May. I'm just looking at that saying, something doesn't quite make sense here.
Yeah.
Is that set
It's
by
the
the
second
assessor?
week, but
That was
second
set
week,
by
but not the second.
Megan and the
second week.
assessor, so I guess we'll have to, I can contact Omar
Because usually the
tomorrow.
assessor sets those dates and
Yeah, he sent her a list of dates and that's the one that they picked, I guess.
Is it, so
you're right, Kate.
if we look up section 70.47, does it actually say this?
Yeah, it does have to be the
It does say the
second.
second Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead and check.
But,
It
Bring it
does
up
say
on
the
your
second
phone.
Monday.
I don't mean to.
No, that's good catch.
Good catch, yeah.
I guess you just gotta read past it, you don't really think about it.
Right.
Yeah, it certainly isn't the second Monday.
No, even in my poor math skills, I knew that that wasn't the
What
second
is the
Monday.
second Monday? The 13th?
13th, yeah.
And I think it's been the second Monday forever.
Yes,
You
by
recall?
statute.
We need to amend that date then.
Is the assessor going to be available on that date?
That's just it.
So,
We could possibly approve it with the amendment of the date subject to the availability of the assessor, and so that we've at least gotten the resolution passed.
yeah.
I think we make a motion to that effect.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know, we probably can't, it's so hard to read.
Scroll.
was old people's excuse.
Let's just do it. Let's just change it.
Yeah, so, I mean, we have 30 days, starting the second Monday of May. If somehow that isn't gonna work, we'll be back at a common council fairly soon after that we could do another resolution.
Yeah, I had it, it went,
I mean, if we can't get an assessor,
oh wait, it's subject
We'd have to go to the 20th.
I guess you can approve that subject to confirming the date.
um,
Unless we leave it open-ended. But either or, this is gonna have to be shored up.
or we could amend it to, the city of Juneau will meet to open the board of review on a Monday,
Scratch this.
subject to the availability of
Yep.
the assessor within the time requirements. I mean, I don't know what else to say, it's best not to violate.
Correct.
It says the Board of Review shall meet annually at any time during the 45-day period, beginning the fourth Monday of April, but no sooner than 7 days after the last day.
so it's written wrong on the resolution, not in the statute. So May
Yeah.
7th can still be the day. We just have to amend
May
the wording.
6th.
May 6th?
Oh, May
Yeah.
6th, that's
May
what I meant.
6th.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Board of Review shall meet annually at any time,
Just-
45 days.
Just amended to read the first Monday of May.
You can do that.
Well, this date is okay.
Yep. So you want to amend your motion?
Do I want to
We
amend?
don't need to amend it.
Well,
It's my motion.
Oh, your motion. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Oh, we should.
but we should then, we should strike the
You gotta s-
30-day period beginning the
45.
second Monday of May, because that is not an accurate statement, but we still can just use, requires the city to hold their tax assessment.
45-day
During the
period.
45-day
Days.
period beginning on the fourth Monday of April is what the statute says.
Yeah.
So if we just amend that sentence.
Okay. Whereas section.
I think there's two, if I remember correctly, gosh, it's been a long time. There's, you open the board of review, and that's for anybody who wants to apply.
Right.
And the second would be, the second part where everybody meets and actually does the board of review, that would be the second, or
No,
the first Monday in May.
you only convene to reconvene if those roll is not ready. Otherwise, you set the date for the Board of Review and you hold your Board of Review.
Yeah, I thought there was a thing before.
I think you're thinking of the open book.
That's it.
Yeah,
We have
the
the
open
open
book
book
is
before
first
that.
and then is Board of Review.
Kayla, are you looking at section 70.47?
Yeah. Yeah, do you want to,
Use that for amending.
Sure.
just that first sentence there?
Also, the clerk's there, so we use the second Monday.
All right. I'm gonna read the whole thing over again, then I'll motion again.
Yep.
Okay. Whereas section 70.47 requires that cities hold their tax assessment board of review annually at any time during the 45-day period beginning on the fourth Monday of April, but no sooner than 7 days after the last day on which the assessment roll is open for examination. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau will meet to open the Board of Review on Monday, May 6, 2024 from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at City Hall. Be it further resolved that the Deputy Clerk will publish this notice as a Class 1 notice as required by law, passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau the 16th day of April 2024. I amend my motion to what I just read.
To include those changes. Okay, motion by Evans, is there a second?
Second. Oh, you seconded it.
Did I second it? Maybe I did. I
Seconded.
don't- It was so long ago.
Second by Morose to set the time and date for the board of review as written amendments. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Evans.
Aye.
Morose.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Muchka.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 7, 2024 is passed
Thanks for
with
looking that up.
proper amendments. Okay, next we have Resolution 8, 2024. Kate, want to read that?
Next, we have approved checks and electronic payments.
Oh, excuse me, I was jumping from one to the other, okay.
My 8 is mayoral appointments.
Yeah,
Or
resolution
number
8 comes after the checks.
No,
Yeah.
15 now.
Oh.
Next, we
oh.
have approved payments of bills, checks for $5,539,181.87. Electronic transfers of $207,887.45. Is there a motion to approve the payment of bills?
So moved.
Motion by Morose, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Grattan. Any further discussion, questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Morose.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Muchka.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Payment of bills have been approved. Next, we have reports of officials. Mayor, Resolution 8, 2024, approved mayoral appointment. You'll have to read that one. Okay.
All right, now I'm on. Resolution 8, 2024, approved mayoral appointments. Whereas the mayor has diligently searched for individuals willing to give themselves by serving on the Community Development Authority, and whereas the mayor wishes to make the following appointment. Bruce Soldner, appointment till 4/2027. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau the 16th day of April, 2024. I move for passage of Resolution 8, 2024.
Second.
Motion by Morose, second by Foodie. Any further discussion? Bruce is a re-up. He serves on that and Planning Commission as well. No questions? Roll call vote, please.
Morose.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Muchka.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 8, 2024 is passed. Clerk Treasurer report.
Oh. Okay, we have an audit update. We're waiting on finalizing the utility outstanding items, and that the auditor should be here between June and July. Megan is currently working with Justin from Baird, as the city is looking at borrowing $3 million next year. $2.5 million for the city and $500,000 for utility. These are not final numbers as of yet. The breakdown kind of is estimating East Oak Street at $1 million. So $500 for the city cost, $500,000 for the utility cost. $420,000 to refurbish the fire truck. Megan also sent an email asking the department heads to have their capital requests in for the May finance meeting, so we know how much we have to borrow.
Any questions or comments for the deputy clerk?
I have two.
Okay.
It's been many months since the program of checks and balances how's it working for the city employees that order equipment and supplies online? Does it need any improvements?
We don't order a whole lot of stuff online. A lot of it we do.
We don't not anymore, but well, we put that program in, you know, you were gonna put that program in place, so we haven't used it very much, so we don't know.
Megan takes care of all that, like with the credit cards. I don't see a whole lot of that, so I'm sorry, I don't have the information that you need on that one.
All right.
It'd be a good time to attend a finance meeting. As Public Works Chair, you're welcome to sit in a finance meeting and ask those questions of our clerk.
Last month, we, in the bills, we had 2 MEUW membership fees. And I asked that utility what was going on, and it was a split invoice because they're going from one system to another. So they ended the final one and started the new one. That's why there were 2 MEUW bills, whether shown in bid one.
Thanks for the research, Dave.
Well,
You've done
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got a question, since you're talking about borrowing 3 million next year. What is our percentage of debt limit? Are we borrowed at? Does anybody know?
We're very good, we're very healthy. Yeah, we've got plenty of room.
Okay.
Plenty of room.
Well, I just don't want to even get close to it.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I agree with that, and we've been very frugal on that. And unfortunately, now interest rates are crawling up, you know,
Yeah.
so, the last money we borrowed was I think 1.9 for the last capital borrowing that we did a couple of years ago, so,
That was through the sale of bonds, right?
yeah. And we're gonna be contacting, well, Megan's already contacted Justin from Baird to do a worst case, best case scenario. That dollar amount isn't locked in, we're just kind of looking at what we've got, your street you live on, that needs some serious attention. DJ is another big expenditure for a quick trip out to the city limits. So we got some big ticket items there. Downtown section won't be as much because there isn't the utility infrastructure there. That's all gonna be addressed on this year's project. So there isn't really any utility costs on that one. So it will be the city's burden to do storm, curb, gutter, and new sidewalks, so.
And that was gonna be reimbursed through ARPA, right?
Well, the upgrades, what we did as MSA to put the package together just as we would normally do it, plus any upgrades. The upgrades would be coming out of ARPA funds. But that doesn't mean some of those ARPA funds can't be put towards the base project as well, you know.
Maybe define what the upgrades are.
Yep, absolutely. That's it's kind of difficult until you get a commitment from the county if there are gonna be any upgrades. Might be just putting it back the way it always was, you know.
But what would qualify as the upgrades, I'm saying? is
Upward would that be that gathering center, the street lights that we're about to approve?
Those extra things that we're.
Yeah, the things like you want to put tree planters in or anything like that, those would be the things we'd be dragging out of the
I thought
ARPA
we were
funds.
paying for the actual construction of East Oak Street also with ARPA. Is that not true?
No, we haven't made a commitment for those. The only monies that have been dedicated from ARPA funds are just the upgraded street lights at this time.
That we're gonna vote on, yeah,
Yes.
today.
Yeah.
I have a question about the next finance, and I don't know if I should be asking now or at finance, but, you know, that was a quick turnaround for department heads.
Yeah.
I mean, and the note to department heads, if there are not 3 quotes, I cannot guarantee the committee will consider your request. We have a librarian that's on medical leave. So I find that to be a little, is that the intention of the finance, if the library doesn't have 3 quotes for a capital project, that you might not consider it?
I think the
A
only one that
3-week
could-
turnaround seems a lot to get 3 quotes
Yep.
for $3 million that department heads may want to consult with their committee and consider, well, what is it that we want for, 2025 and 26? It just seems like this compressed time limit. And I just want to know how firm that 3 quote and that time limit is, particularly because we have a department head out on medical leave.
I think basically what we're looking to get a feel on how much, a worst case scenario, how much we'd have to borrow and then cut back from there.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think until such time that we earmark those funds, or we're gonna say, yeah, you're gonna get something for that, go out and try and find better quotes than what you got here today.
So if they come in with a quote or an old quote.
Yep, that'll give us
Because
some guidance.
that is not what's been relayed to them, and I
Right.
will share what's been relayed to them, but it was a pretty specific,
Yeah.
you better have 3 quotes or your committee won't consider it. So
No.
I just,
Like I said, we haven't focused, and we don't even know if 3 million's enough with what we all got what
Right.
we're looking at. So, like I
Right,
said,
so-
I guess, I know at the library, you're talking maybe a boiler, and you're probably talking windows. Those are probably the 2
right,
capital items.
there's a boiler issue
Right.
and the windows issue, and, 3 quotes within 3 weeks.
No, that's not feasible.
It's too much.
Right, until we get down, at least if they got 1 quote, at least we got something for budgeting purposes or for consulting with Barrett and how much we're gonna have to borrow.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that, because
Yeah, no,
it felt like that was
No,
some heavy.
Megan
you know,
started out at 2, and I said, you better figure 3, because she didn't even think about those street resurfacing projects that we got that can't be put off too much longer. So right now, what we're, with the monies that are going on for these 2 blocks of East Oak Street, that was about 1.1, I'm gonna say 1.1, because it was actually under what our MSA bid was. Out of that, we're getting $800,000 through the block grant program, so we're only got to finance $200,000 to $300,000 to cover our costs on that, so we're in good shape this year. But looking at the capital outlays for projects and plus physical items, like, I know the police chief's got something for a police squad again in there, what have you. Ambulance, the oldest ambulance is looking to be replaced pretty soon, so. But no, basically, Kay, that's what it's all about, is at least getting some kind of balloon figure, and then we'll cut back from there, so.
Yeah, and, you know, there are circumstances like we have right now where if the department head isn't here, there has to be some leeway that they're given some time to consider that.
Richard, you got anything to add? As finance chair, probably stole your thunder. That's kind of where we were at with Megan.
Actually, the only thing I have to add is that I know very little about this.
Okay. Yeah, it just kind of came up here within the last couple of weeks, whatever, so.
And, okay, that's the second question. Why the compressed time, and why aren't we talking this at budget time?
I'm thinking so we're prepared for the budget.
Okay.
And let's face it, with interest rates going up, one thing about it, if we borrow it at such and such a time and interest rates go down, with Barrett, we're always able to refinance. He always kind of sets that
So
up so that we're not paying the
So
top dollar.
are you talking that we are going to borrow in 2024?
Possibly, or make arrangements for 2024 for 2025.
Okay.
The fire truck was one issue where we had to have so many dollars down, and that was supposed to go in at the end of December. So it didn't coincide with the rebuild of Horacon's ladder truck. So we had 2 ladder trucks out of commission within 4 miles of each other. So, but there again, when the truck is brought in, they need like 200 and some odd thousand dollars when it's brought in
Right,
at the end of December. So that might have been the driving force.
Right, so we have this compressed time frame, which I don't think the department heads
We're prepared for.
were prepared for.
Yeah,
And
we
they have a
understand that.
3-week turnaround, and so I think we need to,
I think
Understand
most of them know what their key items are already, have been sitting on it for over a year, I think.
right, but you have a new rec director that, you know, he has to meet with his committee to know, you know,
Yep.
what he's gonna ask. We have some new department heads,
True.
and this will be their first time putting in
Yep.
a capital budget.
But I'm thinking a lot of the pieces of equipment that were negated or denied the last time are probably up front foremost on their list this time.
Unless something broke in between that.
Unless something broke in between that.
Things happen.
You're absolutely right.
Dick, when you're done with the next time we meet here, can you get me that percentage of debt figure?
Sure. Megan, can.
Megan has
Okay.
it.
All right, okay.
Okay. Where were we at?
Well, that was all
We
on
got
your
off track a
report.
little bit here.
It was the clerk
Clerk
treasurer.
treasurer report.
Yep. Anything else from the clerk treasurer?
Nope.
Okay. Next, we have written reports. Building permit report, police department, Juneau Fire and Rescue, and Juneau EMS. Any questions on any of them? Okay, next we got reports, committees, commissions, and boards. Library report, Jeanette is not here, as Kay alluded to. I'm assuming you're going to.
Yes,
Give her a
so
report.
I will say that we regret to have to lose Jeanette. Jeanette has been a wonderful addition to the city of Juneau, has served as a wonderful librarian. We've been fortunate for, I don't know how many years she's been here, but we've certainly been fortunate to have such a delightful person serving our city. And we are certainly sorry to see her leave. If you don't know, her husband is a pastor, and Jeanette and her husband are eventually going to Africa on the mission field. So they feel called to to that, and I will hope they will be blessed and they will be safe and that all will go well for them. And in the meantime, we did set a search committee, a subcommittee that will be involved in the hiring process for a new librarian. So they will be accepting the applications and developing the questions and providing the final candidates for that position. So that's kind of outside of the routine business of the library. That has been pretty much what's been going on the library board.
Any questions for Carrie on Jeanette's behalf?
It'll be hard to find somebody with her enthusiasm and her energy.
Yes, I know, she has boundless energy and
Always so positive.
yes, and but her staff is also very positive. She does leave a wonderful staff, and we're also very fortunate to have all the very helpful and kind staff that serve our library.
And I think when this agenda was put together, that Resolution 9 was put together just as a generic for the department head. You know, every time we do have a department head decide to resign, we generally do a formal resolution. So and of course, Kay came up with the state statute says the library board has all authority to determine the hire, supervise, and if necessary, fire the library director. The library director in turn has responsibility for hiring and supervision of all persons in the library staff positions, provided the library board has authorized those positions. The library board also has legal authority and responsibility for determining the compensation and general duties of the director, as well as all the other library positions. Wisconsin statutes and administrative code rules require that all public library directors be properly certified by the Division for Libraries Technologies. Only libraries with a properly certified director can be a library system member. And it goes on about all the other stuff. So apparently, we don't have any authorization to accept the letter of resignation, I guess. is what I
The
mean.
board accepted it, and that's really all that's necessary, but I think it's good that we all acknowledge that she will be leaving us and she will be missed.
I see nothing wrong with resolution 9/2024 because her resignation would not go to us. It actually went to the Public Library Board of Trustees. And it would be a good thing and probably nice if we accept her resignation letter too. I see no problem with that. There's nothing, we've not overstepped
There's
anybody's
nothing
law.
legal and binding or anything
Yeah.
like that. I don't-
We're just
So
accepting.
we amended the agenda to remove the resolution.
Right,
Right.
right. But
Usually we
we're
have
just
no
clarifying
authority
that,
Yeah?
That,
We have no authority anyways.
I mean,
No, we
the,
have no authority. She gives it, we're gonna say, no, we're not taking it?
yeah.
The library accepted it, so
Yeah, I know.
we're just talking about.
I know we changed it, but we, I think we should.
okay. No action taken on Resolution 9/2024 as being previously amended from the agenda. So, anything else you want to report on later?
No, I think that's it.
Plan Commission Chairman report. David?
We did meet, we opened with a reading of what the public hearing would be for, and we opened the public hearing, and the mayor asked 3 times in favor, people in favor or not for the rezoning of parcel 241115. It's the church on the north end of town on Main Street, North Main Street. Went from P1 to R1A. Got changed to that, which is the rest of the zoning for that area. Then we closed the hearing and voted on it that we would rezone the property. The motion carried. Then we discussed the sidewalk cafe as a pilot program, and it was approved that we do it another year as a pilot program. Then we discussed the 1850 seating arrangement. Last year there was a small little step when they made the platform level that everyone had to go over, and that didn't meet ADA compliancy, so now they're going to go up on the east side and around in with with their ramp to get into the area, so they'll meet the ADA requirements for their outside seating. Then when we do the new sidewalk on eventually, we don't quite know what's going to happen there. Some planning may be done to make that all level, or a slate pitch rather than the pitch that's there. Then we discussed the keeping of chickens in the city limits as a pilot program, and there were many questions that we were able to answer of the people that had the chickens or people that were just interested, and we approved that again for another year. Their chicken would have to be registered by the 31st of March. That's when all the cats and dog licenses need to be done, so we thought that that would be fitting to put that with that at that time period. Then we looked at a certified survey map of the Wild Goose Condominium Number 1 Association, and we approved the certified survey of a house that was already there, and it fell through the cracks somehow that it didn't have the certified survey map when it was done, written up, so we got that taken care of. It fit all the sidelines of what it was supposed to be, so we approved that. We looked at the light pole design for downtown Juneau and looked at it for the decorative lighting, and we approved the one with they'd be black with, and the light head would hang down, would look very nice with new improvements that we hope to make with the city down there. We discussed the 2030 comprehensive plan, and we had gone on quite a while for that meeting, so they decided we'd wait for next meeting to really look at it. The 2030 plan, we worked on that, I think it was 98, somewhere in there. Yeah, we went to many meetings and some training on Plant Commission for that, and we came up with a rough plan of what we'd like the city to look like in 2030 as far as streets and how things were done, and the zoning of the city. And looking through it, yeah, we've been following the plan, so that's good. Then we had property maintenance, and that was our meeting. It was a lengthy one. So then we have a resolution here. We have two. Yep, I have two. Resolution 10-2024. Approve the rezoning public and semi-public to R1A single-family residential. Whereas the Plan Commission held a public hearing on Monday, March 25th, 2024, to hear public comment regarding the proposed change in zoning for the following parcel from public and semi-public to R1A single-family residential, and 241-1115-2222-027, 420 North Main Street. Whereas the Plan Commission recommends to approve the zoning change from public and semi-public to R1A single-family residential. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 16th day of April 2024. I move for passage of Resolution 10-2024.
Motion by Grant, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Burrows. Any further discussion?
Yeah. I'm not against doing this. I am against the no lot line thing. I have been for many years. But, and you know, Dave said it was an oversight. I'm taking everybody's word for it and everything else. But how did our building inspector approve that without a certified survey man?
Next one.
That's
That's
our
the
next
next one.
You're on
That's the
one,
next one.
I'm
This
sorry.
one's for
This
the
is
church
the
up on.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were on this.
No, no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We went from
Okay.
plan commission to this first
All
resolution.
right.
It's for the church on North Main,
Oh,
at 420 North Main.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
One
I was
for
on the
public.
wrong,
Yeah,
slid
no
the
problem.
finger wrong.
No problem. We've had several, well, the person actually owned it is a real estate flipper. And I think their first intentions were they could do multifamily there, but with the restricted lot line and the shared driveway, that's the last thing we need. And then we would be spot zoning it if it was multifamily. So they agreed to go back to a single family zoning and remove it from the, I guess they could have sought out some businesses or some public related businesses. Could be another church, could be a daycare center or whatever. That would have been another avenue. But when you're right in the heart of a residential district, you've got to be pretty careful on what you're going to allow. So anyway, they're looking to build a big house inside that church and hopefully flip it, I guess. So I think the people are sincere, but like I said they worked with the plan commission, understood our concerns and what have you. And it just would not have been a good fit to go with any kind of zoning other than the R1A out there. Got a motion and a second on the floor?
Yeah, I second it.
Roll call vote, please.
Grattan,
Aye.
Moroz,
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Hui,
Aye.
Machuka,
Aye.
Runge.
Aye.
Resolution 10, 2024 is passed.
Okay, resolution 15, 2024, approve certified survey map for Wild Goose Condominium Number 1 Association. Whereas the Plan Commission has received a request to review and approve a certified survey map for Wild Goose Condominium Number 1 Association, and whereas the Plan Commission recommends approving certified survey map for Wild Goose Condominium Number 1 Association.
Dave,
Yeah?
can you talk louder so I can hear that 1 and 2?
Oh, okay. I'll start over. Whereas the Plan Commission has received a request to review and approve a certified survey map for Wild Goose Condominium Number 1 Association, and whereas, is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas the Plan Commission recommends approving certified survey map for Wild Goose Condominium Number 1 Association as shown on Exhibit A. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 16th day of April 2024. I move for passage of Resolution 15, 2024.
Motion by Grattan, there's a second.
I'll second.
Second by Moroz. Okay, further discussion.
You know, it gets, I get back to where it was before, of which I apologize, Elizabeth. I understand but has anybody contacted our building inspector and asked how he issued a building permit?
I guess
Under construction,
I guess I can explain it. These are family members, two sisters.
okay,
They built it as all under one.
okay.
So now they're doing the separation and doing the legal split on it. So that's how it was done. Yeah,
but if
otherwise you'd have a valid point there, but
Well,
they elected to build it initially this way. It wasn't a separate condo, it was like a joint duplex or whatever. So the young lady on the left lives on the west side, and the couple on the right live on the east side. So
We are it.
they're two sisters.
They're even sitting correctly.
So prior to this, it wasn't a condominium?
No.
It was just a duplex?
Yeah.
it's a duplex, but we're listed as a condominium.
Yeah, in a condo association.
Yeah.
And we want to get out of the condo association.
Well, I think the intention was when Hank Hekimovich,
Yep.
he built that one.
Yep.
And I think it was his intention that he owned all that land at that time,
Correct.
that he was gonna build it, there's gonna be more.
Okay.
Well, needless to say, more came, but it's not with him, it's, the new guy that bought the land.
Right. Next generation construction.
Yeah, next generation, yeah,
Right.
yeah. and they're not condos, they're just side by sides.
Yep.
And why should we be sitting there all by ourselves as a condo association? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and most of the time, the condo association, they have an association fee and take care of your
Exactly.
lawn
Right.
and your snow
And actually, we're
blowing.
just doing it all for ourselves, but I
Yeah.
mean, it just doesn't, to
Yeah.
me, all of us, we agree, we really don't want to be an association.
Right, you've been operating as independent owners of a duplex is what it boils down to.
Right, I mean, we've been there 16 years,
Yep,
and when we came, there was nobody there.
right, right. So basically, this cleans that up, is what it really.
So we're
amounts to.
moving from a condo association to a zero lot line duplex,
Correct.
Yeah,
which
Doesn't
you've
really
kind of
say-
operated
Huh?
at.
This doesn't really say.
yeah, that's the way we're going all the time, yeah.
You haven't paid into a condo association.
Yes, we have.
Yeah,
You
we
have.
We paid to ourselves.
We took
Because
it ourselves.
it was in our documents that we, had
Yeah,
the fees to
we had to
pay.
pay that into the
Okay.
association.
Plus then we
crazy.
have to get the association condo fees, which are quite expensive, plus we each have our own for interior. I mean, it's really, I don't know.
What did you get for your association fees?
We paid $100 each every month, and I've been there 16 years.
And
Of
where
course,
does that
we
money?
have to pay out the insurances and the upkeep for, like, the lawn,
Okay, oh, that's unique. Yeah,
I mean, it just,
So do those accounts have to be dissolved now? I mean, is that gonna be
yeah,
an
right,
issue?
we'll just divide it up.
Right.
But, like I say, I just don't see the reason why this was done in the first place. But like I said, my suspicions were that Hank, when he was built ours, he was gonna build more, and there'd be more together.
Okay,
But
that makes sense.
it never happened.
Right,
And like I said, 16 years.
right.
And he would have been the one executing the lawn care and the snow blowing and everything else then. And that's what your dollars would have went towards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, because you really got nothing because you're handling it all on your own anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So this doesn't really dissolve the condo association though.
right.
I mean, it changes the
It-
zoning, but isn't there a separate entity called the condo association?
Is there a difference in zoning with a condo than with two single-family houses with zero lot line? And that, because it says here that we have an association, and the association is gonna be,
Approving its
Yeah.
CSM.
so I don't,
I don't think the.
I got
zero-
nothing, I wanna make sure you guys, that what we do for you is straight,
Right.
that there's nothing more to
Right.
do.
Well, we went and had the survey done,
Yeah,
and the zero lot line is what you guys required.
okay,
Right?
For a
Right.
condo,
yeah.
Oh, for a zero lot line, that's what
but a condo
you
is.
never had a certified survey map that showed the split of the property, huh?
That's the only survey we've had done.
Okay. All right.
And
Yeah,
then
Hank-
we're being directed by an attorney,
Yeah, Hank must have had some ideas of what he was doing there.
I would think.
So this may be the first step that they're taking to dissolve the condo.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're just approving this.
All right, so you've
Right.
consulted your attorney and this is
Oh,
what they're
yeah, he's
recommending?
been working.
And he's gonna help you resolve,
Right, I
dissolve
guess the
it.
next step, as long as if we're approved here, is that he said we'd have to file with the register of deeds for the county.
okay.
Okay, so this just
And
gives
then
some more
that would
steps.
settle everything.
Okay,
You filed the CSM with the county.
Pardon?
You filed the CSM with the county.
After this, after we approve it.
Right.
We have to approve it before it goes to the county.
But it's still nothing dissolving
But
their
no,
That's,
association.
that's their concern,
It's
that
still
doesn't
saying
ours.
Okay, we don't need to take
No,
any action on.
I would say they would consult their attorney to help them
Right,
the next steps.
They probably couldn't dissolve it till they divide
Just
it
the house.
formally, so.
Is there, my question being is, what is it zoned at now as a condo association?
zoning don't change on that,
Is there,
it's an R2.
it's R2?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a condominium, an R2. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
It's R2.
Okay.
yeah, that wouldn't change.
Okay.
So you've been paying one common property tax all this time?
No, she pays her, I pay mine.
Although, so they do cut
There's
two
two different
taxes?
property taxes, right? Our
That's crazy.
utilities are separate, property taxes are separate, so.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
lucky your family all get along.
Yeah.
Yeah, lucky you all get along is right.
Oh, well, we have to be sisters.
Well, sometimes.
Which is
I had
really
to
nice.
explain that to the county officials on how this all comes. I says, you know,
Yeah,
their
but
sisters living. Well, that explains it then. That kind of brought them all to light then.
Oh,
Next generation's on this side of us.
yeah,
next generation's
something
on
that
this
seems so
side of
simple
us.
can be complicated.
So you're
We're
the
in the
second
center.
one?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, what we're here tonight is to prove the certified survey.
Yeah, we're just approving.
Pardon?
What we're here tonight is to prove your certified survey.
Am I approved, or are we approved?
We're going
Oh,
to-
you're gonna take a vote?
We'll take a vote, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You know,
Can
it
we
shows
vote?
here. It shows your house.
Okay.
You want to be council members?
Yeah. Kay's looking to get out. It's your ward there, Kay.
Yeah. There you go.
You got an opening.
One more year and there's gonna be an
Fixed
opening.
next man.
Okay.
All right.
Now I've served with 2 more roses. I don't know if that's good or bad for you.
I don't know, you can choose which one.
Okay. We have a motion second on the
We
floor.
do.
Any further discussion? Again, you're just approving the certified survey map. They're gonna take it upon themselves to dissolve the condo association, which nobody seemed to know about.
That clears
So,
that up.
so this is just strictly for that. So roll call vote, please.
Groton.
Aye.
Burrows.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Mushka.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 15, 2024 is passed.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'll be signing the documents that you'll be taking up to, or will be sent up to Dodge County and whatever, and it'll be recorded then. So.
So
Okay.
Jim?
I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad we could help you
I
out.
just had to see that.
Okay.
Sorry you had to wait so long.
That's okay, at least I didn't fall asleep.
Woke you up. Well, we're excited enough for that.
This isn't a county board meeting.
Why don't I serve at the head of the county board meeting about drinks afterwards?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Anything else for plan commission tonight?
No, that was
Okay,
it.
moving on. Finance, Richard.
All right, so our meeting discussed 4 issues and resulted in 3 resolutions for the council. First issue I'll talk about is Fire Chief Ed Weiss. He's requesting financing for the refurbishment of the ladder truck. And we kind of touched on this when we were talking about the capital funds. The cost will be $379,000 with an additional $40,000 for a pump rebuild. This will extend the life of the truck for 15 to 20 years. The price of a new truck would be $1.5 million. And the committee approved financing the refurbishment using borrowed funds, but there'll be a resolution at a future council meeting after logistics have been worked out. We gotta work with Megan and talk about the borrowing and all this stuff. So Megan wasn't present at our last finance meeting because of the election. So now I want to go through the resolutions one at a time. Our first resolution is 11/2024. In our March meeting, Janet had requested that the city purchase a laptop computer for the library. At that time, we asked for a couple more quotes. She provided 2 more quotes for a total of 4. The committee reviewed them and decided to go with the Monarch Library System option. So let me go to Resolution 11-2024, approve laptop purchase for library director. Whereas the library board and the finance committee have received a request for the purchase of a new laptop for the library director. And whereas the finance committee has reviewed 4 quotes as seen in Exhibit A. And whereas the finance committee recommends purchasing the Latitude 3340 laptop and accessories from Monarch Library System. And whereas the finance committee recommends using capital contingency funds not to exceed $974.73. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau the 16th day of April 2024. I would move for passage of Resolution 11-2024.
Second.
Motion by Evans, second by Foodie. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Evans.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Burrows.
Aye.
Mushka.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 11, 2024 is passed.
Okay, our next resolution, the fire chief, he was at our meeting and he asked us, he had a request for standby pay for firefighters who respond to a fire call that has been canceled. And the resolution will explain this a little bit further. Resolution 12-2024 approves standby pay for fire department. Whereas the Public Safety and the Finance Committees have received a request for standby pay for firefighters that respond to fire calls, and whereas the Public Safety and Finance Committees recommend standby pay for 1 hour for firefighters that respond to the fire station, even if the call is canceled after arrival effective January 1st, 2025. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau the 16th day of April 2024. I move for passage of Resolution 12-2024.
Second.
Motion by Evans, second by Foodie. Any further discussion?
Much discussion.
Oh, much go. Excuse me. Throwing your voice. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Evans?
Aye.
Muchka? Aye. Foodie?
Aye.
Bratton?
Aye.
Merles?
Aye.
Rungy?
Aye.
All right, then the last.
Resolution 12,
I'm sorry,
2024 is passed.
Sorry, Dan.
No problem.
The last resolution that I have is the Plan Commission approved a plan for decorative light poles to be installed in the downtown area of East Oak Street. And we approved the financing for that. So Resolution 13-2024 approved the purchase of 9 decorative street light poles and 9 decorative fixtures for East Oak Street reconstruction project. Whereas the Plan Commission and the Finance Committee have reviewed a request for the installation of 9 decorative street light poles with decorative fixtures for East Oak Street reconstruction project, and whereas the Plan Commission and the Finance Committee received a quote of $4,350 per decorative street light pole with an estimated $250 to $300 per decorative fixture. And whereas the electric utility will credit each pole up to $2,267. And whereas the Finance Committee recommends using American Rescue Plan Act and ARPA funds to pay for the 9 decorative streetlight poles and 9 decorative fixtures. And whereas the Plan Commission and the Finance Committee recommend the purchase of 9 decorative streetlight poles plus 9 decorative fixtures for a total not to exceed $22,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau the 16th day of April 2024. I move for passage of Resolution 13-2024.
Second.
Motion by Evans, second by Grattan. Further discussion?
Just a couple follow-ups. So who is going to own these poles? Because
Juneau Utility.
we have this, city
Yep.
owns some.
Nope, not anymore.
Right, the
That's it.
utility owns the poles, and if somebody damages the poles and has no insurance,
It'll be under the insurance policy of the utility.
okay, so utility will pay for a decorative pole.
Yep.
Or is it,
They're paying the $2,267 is what they pay for the normal
The
pole.
city's paying the
So
difference
they'll
between
pay
a
that
standard
base
and
rate,
Correct.
and then
The utility
the
does.
city's picking up the rest.
right, for the new ones
For
that
the new
I'm
ones,
just
right.
saying in the future,
Right,
if something happens to a decorative pole,
yep. Just
That
so that we don't have to go back to, well, the utility only pays the base rate and the city has to pay the rest.
No, it's
There's-
totally-
That's not
No.
dealt with in this resolution.
Right.
So if that would happen and there is no,
It will happen.
and it will happen,
Good,
right?
I don't think it will.
So I'm saying it's likely going to happen, and I just would preemptively not want to have, well, the utility will only pay the base pole,
No.
the city will have to pay
No.
the additional amount. The utility will pay the whole amount.
Right, for a replacement pole or something like that, because it'll fall under utility ownership now. just because we contribute.
Okay, I mean, as long as the
Yeah,
utility
yeah,
commission
Yep,
is okay with that,
yep,
and they're not surprised by
because
that.
we've done away with that city-owned lights,
Right,
utility-owned lights, that's all under utility ownership now.
right, that's why I look at that and I thought, well, I wanted to clarify, so, you know, like you said, something will happen and then, you
That's a
know.
good point, that's a good point, but no, after this is done, the utility takes full ownership of the lights and will maintain the lights and what have you. There won't be any bill back to the city for that. The only thing the city will be on the hook for is electricity to run them, which will be a decrease because of the fact now they're going to LED from the high precious loading that are there now, so.
Yeah, I just think it should be in writing someplace, whether it's in the utility commission notes or whether it's here, so that if it happens,
There had to be something done, the
Um,
utility owns all the
you know.
streetlights.
Yeah.
but I guess the other question I have is, you know, there was this plan brought by the chamber, and this feels a little piecemeal, like, we haven't decided on the overall plan and whether that is indeed the best stewardship of our tax-paying dollar. And so I feel like, okay, we're gonna get the lights and then, you know, a couple months later, we're gonna be asked for this, and then a couple months later, we're gonna be asked, this feels piecemeal. Or am I looking at this and saying, this is all, you know, no matter what MSA did or planned, we're just doing the lights?
At this time.
Well, no,
That's-
I'm
that's
asking for the whole project.
Because there's other projects that I think we even talked about, like the, I don't know, what did you say on the corner of East Oak Street?
Oh, like the gathering center and stuff like that?
Yeah, the gathering center, the planters, the bump outs.
Right, that's all contingent upon design and approval by this committee or this council.
In the county, we need county approval
Right.
to put such there, and so far they're in a positive mood, but they want to see what we want, so we have to decide
Yeah, well, Kate,
what we want.
But I would say that I wouldn't even approach the county because I'm not interested in that. As a voting member here, that is not something that I think the tax money is the best use. Knowing all the needs in our departments, and I, you know, you can say that maybe I'm not a visionary for Juneau, but my concern is that we don't even fill up the storefronts. The facades of the storefronts aren't good. I'm not sure what is going to be attracted, and so putting a lot of money right there in that 2-block section, is that the best avenue for our money? And so I would think that, and I might be the only one against it, but that we as a council would look at it as a project. Is this indeed, after we think about borrowing some $3 million, is this indeed the goal here and our focus? And of course, I will always be concerned that the focal point of our main street is the strip club, and we cannot get rid of that. And behind Solomon's, we can see the Silk, and it's dirty, and it's a fancy street light, okay, but it's not going to remedy what I think is probably the biggest barrier in bringing some kind of family-friendly, more commerce into that area.
Well, Kay, I'm gonna tell you, I agree with most of your comments is what I was gonna say. I have a hard time spending an extra $22,000 on, you know, the regular poles, you can get a regular pole with black, it's the same price. Yeah, but the decorative pole is gonna be, you know, an extra couple $1,000 each or whatever the hell it is. And I can't see spending $22,000 extra for a pole just because they're somewhat decorative. And, you know, I have people come up to me in the last couple of weeks since I won the election, which was always fine, but, you know, saying, nobody looks at poles. It's not going to do anything for our downtown. And they're concerned about their tax money.
Right, well, and
And
I'm
even
not
though
saying
it's
it's
our-
not good, I mean, it
Yeah.
could look nice, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that, but it's the, the purpose is, do we really believe that this is going to draw more commerce to that downtown area? You know, I don't know, I don't know the solution to the downtown area, but I know the pie is only so big. And so you have all these departments that are going to come with one, you know, I mean, the fire truck, I get it. We got to do something about the fire truck. We're having an election and the roof is leaking in the gym, in the community center. We have the fogged windows. I mean, there's just, every department is going to have something. And we, as this governing body, you have to balance out a vision for Juneau and yet a responsibility for the tax dollar. And so I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer, but I am troubled with, first, the piecemeal, because I think there should have been an overall
Well, if we had a plan written in stone, I might agree to this. But there is a plan from MSA, but there's nothing, you know, we don't know if the county's going to agree to it, to go along with this project. And the council might, if we had a solid plan here, I might not even have a problem with this. But we don't have a solid plan of what that downtown is going to look like. And, you know, not just do a project, pave a road, blah, blah, blah. What's going to happen after that? If we're going to put a pile of money in there, where are we 5 years after that? With a pile of fancy streetlights or just regular black streetlights? And I have a hard time until, you know, saying, okay, we're not going to, we need something written in stone or a really good plan. And we're walking around with, and I've talked to some people in the chamber who have agreed with it, is that there has to be a written plan. I mean, it has to be right there, you know, not the drawings from MSA per se, but what, are those drawings going to be good, and are they going to go through? Is the, you know, county going to agree to their part of it? There's something with the street with the county, I'm not exactly, somebody tried to explain it to me, I don't understand what the county has to do with it, but.
Well, they're trying to buy a
trying to
strip of
use
land
it.
from the
Okay.
courthouse square.
So what if the county says no? Are we sitting at $22,000 extra in streetlights?
I don't feel that any community wouldn't spend the upgrade for a more decorative street light in their downtown area. If you did nothing else and just put that whole block back together, I would think now we're gonna be getting rid of the old street lights that are fed with overhead wire and going through the expense of doing an underground connection and whatever. But I would think, as you see in every community, anytime they improve their downtown, they usually do a decorative street light. And we're fortunate enough that we have our own electric utility. Like City of Beaver Dam does not have that. They paid for the whole works, the total cost of that decorative pole. But the windfall money that we got from ARPA, that's why I focused in, if we're gonna use it anywhere, it should be on something like this, because it's not money we would normally have or budget for that kind of extravagant expense.
See, now, I would have just the opposite view. ARPA money was given to municipalities because they believed they would financially suffer due to COVID, right?
Yep.
They needed basic money because, you know, to keep you going, we want to help you. They didn't say, oh, we're going to give you money, this tax dollar money, to do something extravagant. So I would have the opposite view of, I know there's probably not.
Maybe I used the wrong word, but it's supposed to be for stimulating your downtown and do upgrades to attract possible businesses and whatever to fill those vacant buildings.
I did not read that when I read about ARPA funds, but if you believe, you know, I'm not going to challenge that, but that wasn't really, when I read the purpose of ARPA funds.
We weren't
I mean,
really.
It's very broad.
Yeah.
It's very broad based. I agree, but that too, those are all tax dollars, and it's a rescue plan. It's a rescue plan to help you because things did not go well during COVID.
And we're very fortunate. We didn't have any real
So
costs associated to COVID. So.
Right, but we also have many things in this city that need money.
Is there a time constraint on this, or is it actually critical to get these down?
It is for ordering.
Ordering.
Yeah.
There
And
was
I
a-
will say that the chamber, and Dave can back this up, he attends more chamber activities, they are focused on contributing to this, and that, after we talked a little bit, we focus more on them paying rather than paying $4,000 towards a pole, they would contribute towards the cost of the heads. So we might be able to deduct the cost of the
Like
heads.
2,700.
Yeah.
In a way, there is a concrete plan. The chamber came to the plan commission and presented three street improvements of the design, and plan commission did choose one. And it's one of them that was on the plans from MSA. So the street design has been chosen or approved, but goes in conjunction with the possibility of getting the corner property use from the county to do some kind of, and that's where there's no plan. You got a rough drawing, but it's really rough. It's, not.
I think what would be very helpful is to know what the ARPA fund amount is, which has been presented to us already. Like Kay said, what are the wants and what are the needs? And the needs definitely need to come before the wants. And the other thing that I hear is that we need to get one plan. Like if we're doing East Oak Street, let's decide definitively what is going to be included in East Oak Street.
And
Let's not add lights, let's not add the gathering center, let's not add this. Let's get a definitive plan.
And
So
the
everybody's on
challenge
the
is
same
there was
page.
no money connected to any of this, so
Right.
it's very hard to make any kind of decision, because even though you chose a plan, without the cost factor, you can't make an informed decision.
Because I think you want to have it as one project, is what I'm hearing too.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Well, these decorative streetlights would go from the post office, that's considered the downtown by MSA, all the way up. So these lights would need to be done, so we can put them up as soon as they get here for the section that would be done.
I can see if I were doing the financial part behind this, I would want it as one, but we probably don't have the number for the gathering.
No.
Or any other,
No.
or the dollar amount for anything else that might be,
I'd focus on this as being the very
because we
least,
have to order them.
this would be the very least expenditure, and even if you put the street back just the way it was. If
But I
you
think
didn't do anything, this would be the very, very least that you'd be contributing up towards.
But I hope that kind of summed it up, what you're.
Yeah, we're in this dilemma, right? We can't focus on a plan that has no money, because then we don't have enough facts to even decide on it. And we're going to borrow $300 million. I don't know how much ARPA funds we have anymore.
We got about $260,000.
Yeah, I thought it was around
And it's
300.
gained, it's been invested, so there's been gaining
Yeah.
interest. We're almost up to 300,000, I think. So if you wanted to stick everything back into the concrete and pavement and what have you, besides this $22,000, I guess that would be your decision at the time when you get a formal plan. But we're just thinking that no matter what you did, if you were just doing the street as it is right now with no gathering center, no change of design, this would be the only upgrade you'd be paying for at this time. That's what you're here to approve tonight, so that we'd have decorative streetlights like every other community has when they do their downtown section.
I would think
Time to do them.
the main street, which is Highway 26, is the street everybody's driving through. I mean, when you go downtown, like you're going through their main street. Most people coming through town can see the decorative lights. These are going to be on a side street. They are our downtown, but they're a side street. So I think it's not like people hauling through Juneau are going to appreciate the decorative lights and say, oh, Juneau had an upgrade, because they're all on a side street.
Well, I think it's an enticement feature too, to attract people
To
that.
downtown.
That is still,
That
I know
may be.
I know what you're saying 26 is the through fare through town. But the
Right.
business district is more Oak Street, you know, even though I agree, we've got a lot of vacant buildings and what have you, but we figured this was a step in the right direction as far as beautification. And I would say, hey, yeah, those dollars are also earmarked. We could set up a program to finance or to help storefronts improve their facades and everything like that. That's all in a use of those ARPA funds. Becky Gluen from Beaver Dam kind of helped us out on a lot of this stuff, and she's the one that used, that's your windfall money. That's the stuff that's where you'd focus in on using something like that, where you normally wouldn't spend those dollars, because you do have those that are supposed to entice and supposed to promote your community. So like I said, at the very most, if we did nothing other than put it back the way it is right now, I would still think you would want to invest in the money for some decorative lighting downtown, so it just was.
You know, you can get I don't know what the big difference is between the two of them, but, you know, you can get the regular pole for $22.67 in black.
Yep, that's got
Right, no,
just,
that's stainless steel, I think.
yeah,
It's
that's just a
standard
painted
pole.
stained, yeah.
Yeah, that is not black.
Yeah.
Right now, don't we have, aren't
Aren't
like,
like stainless steel.
Yeah.
It's not black.
aren't the decorative features on our current poles like just fastened on? Like that's part of the reason we wanted to update it, is we do use them.
Yeah.
We hang like holiday decorations on them. These new poles will have like better hookups for the Christmas trees that we use every year. And the banners that are right now just like fastened to the pole, right? They have to clamp them around the pole. Yeah, so they are features that we are currently trying to do to existing poles. So we are just then buying
I
poles
don't have a
to reflect
decorative
what we
picture,
already
a
are
color
trying to do.
picture. This
Yeah.
is what you're paying for, and the head that goes on it. or what
And the
have you.
chamber's paying for
And-
that.
Yeah, Chamber's working to pay for the heads.
I'm just saying, nothing
Everything's
is set
attached
yet,
to that
that the
pole.
chamber is paying for anything.
Yeah, some of
that's
these
true.
come with those features.
And
when-
Nothing's in writing that the chamber's gonna pay for anything.
Yep.
No,
All right,
no.
just so we're all clear.
All right, that's why you're,
It's not in writing, it's not reality.
that's why your resolution is written that way.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Evans,
Aye.
Groton,
Aye.
Foodie,
Aye.
Burrows, no. Lunchka,
Aye.
Rungy.
No.
Resolution
13.
13/2024 is passed. Anything else from finance, Richard?
No, sir.
Personnel, okay.
Okay, we had a joint personnel meeting, and there is going to be an employee satisfaction survey
Don't feel bad.
that will be going out and collected.
You lose it faster than you get it back.
It's gone now.
So,
Bunch of
within the next month or so, we will have a employee satisfaction survey. Once all the information is gathered, we will again have another joint
2022.
personnel meeting to, we must have a technical issue here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kate.
Okay,
Yeah.
so once we have the information, we'll have another meeting on that. We discussed the, boot allowance for DPW employees. We did not change, after reviewing section 405 clothing/equipment, we did not change anything in the personnel policy. Pretty much we are leaving that up to department heads. They need to
I think you talked to.
budget for what they need, and department heads can choose footwear, clothing, etc., at the schedule that they feel is necessary. So there was no action taken there.
So we're paying for the entire boot.
They're gonna pay for the entire boot.
Boots.
Boots?
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
let the department head take care of that. So, Chief Beal did come back with a resolution that we passed in 2022, and he came back with it because it was never filled, And so we thought we really had to review it because our personnel policy does say that any vacant or inactive positions will need approval by the Personnel Committee and full council. So it never got filled in '22. Now he's looking at possibly filling it again. It's a reactivating a part-time police officer as a temporary employee, and I will read that.
Shouldn't this though, before you do that, be like resolution 16, 2024? To fit in, I mean, I know it's an old resolution, but it should have a current resolution number.
I'm not the,
I was just told to amend it, I don't know.
Yeah. No, you were doing the right thing with what you did, but I'm just wondering if we shouldn't just have, change it to 16, 2024 and use all her wording the way it's.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
We can do that, I can change it tomorrow morning, if you guys
Yeah.
just want to approve it with a different number on it.
I mean, you're doing exactly what.
yeah. Okay, so,
Why don't you make it number 9? We didn't do that one.
yeah, we could use number 9.
We got an extra.
That was extra. And then we just had a general discussion about the methods of determining staff raises, which is always a round and round and round we go, as to what do you base staff raises on, and how do you determine equity in that matter, and how do we attract and retain our staff. And so that will be an ongoing discussion. There was also a review, discuss virtual or phone meeting attendance. And that happens so rarely that we did not take any action because it just isn't, it really hasn't been an issue. People are generally here at meetings. So no action taken there, and so I do have this resolution, which I won't give a number.
It'll be 15.
It'll be 15?
Yeah, because 9 we'll just have to destroy, 'cause
Oh, okay, 15, 2024. All right. Approved to hire a part-time police officer as a temporary employee, whereas the Public Safety and the Personnel Committee have reviewed the need to hire a part-time police officer to fill open shifts, and whereas the Public Safety and Personnel Committee recommend that this be a temporary part-time position with a starting wage of $25.29, and whereas the Public Safety and Personnel Committees recommend that all hiring requirements, background check, drug screens, evaluation, etc., would be waived if the person is a law enforcement officer in good standing. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau the 16th day of April 2024, and I would move for passage of Resolution 59, 2020, I'm sorry, 15, 2024.
there you go.
Second.
Motion by Monroe, second by Evans. Any further discussion? She summed it up pretty good. Roll call vote, please.
Rose.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Moody.
Aye.
Grattan.
Aye.
Maschka.
Aye.
Runge.
Aye.
Resolution 15, 2024 is passed. Anything else, Ken?
I don't think so, unless anybody have any questions for me.
Okay, moving on, public safety. Jane, you can have to take that.
I do, don't I?
Chair.
Okay. Well, police chief gave a report. They took action on extending the premise of application for the 1850 Sidewalk Cafe for the time period April 10th, 2024 to October 31st, 2024. Dan Zink, EMS, handed out his monthly report. Fire Chief Ed Weiss explained to everyone about the standby pay for fire call response, even if the call is canceled. We approved that resolution tonight. And we also talked about the refurbishment of truck number 2371, that it was recommended to refurbish it, that $400,000 be budgeted for the refurbishment, as a new one would cost, what did you say, Dick, like 5.1 million?
1.5.
Oh, 1.5, okay.
You can get 4 of them for 5.
I'm just making a case for
No, you can't.
refurbishment, I guess.
We're going to refurbish, right?
You can't even get one for 1.5 anymore, so.
Yeah. So that was the meeting.
I think you have a resolution,
Very good.
right?
Okay.
Before your resolution, Jane, I just want to say the time frame was changed for the extension of premise just because
Okay.
Chief Beal didn't realize that our meeting was the third Tuesday instead of the second. So you're
Oh.
gonna see a different date in your resolution.
Okay. So, resolution number 14, 2024, approved to extend premise the 1850s Inn Sidewalk Cafe. Whereas the Public Safety Committee has reviewed a request and site plans from the 1850s Inn to extend premise to the sidewalk at 172 East Oak Street for a sidewalk cafe. And whereas the 1850s Inn request to have their licensed premise extended to include the sidewalk in front of their establishment from April 17th, 2024 through October 31st, 2024 as part of the pilot program. And whereas all hard liquor and wine coolers must be in plastic containers, and whereas the outdoor seating area must be ADA compliant along with a 5-foot clear space from curb to dining area. And whereas the Public Safety Committee recommends approving the request as presented above, now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau the 16th day of April 2024. I move to approve Resolution 14, 2024. Thank you, Kayla, for that correction.
Motion by Foodie, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Muchka. Any further discussion? I think Dave pretty much summed it up with the issues that we addressed. We thinking just to go with another pilot program is the best way to go, so. Until other people get more active, if there's other businesses, and I know one in particular, the bowling alley, was waiting until the street was improved before he was gonna do anything, so. No other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Foodie.
Aye.
Muchka. Aye. Evans.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Merles.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 14, 2024 is passed. Anything else from public safety tonight?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Moving on, Public Works,
Public Works was canceled.
Cable TV.
We did not have a meeting, but David gave me an update, which I appreciate. Still working on the OWL setup. Been running into a snag on having it connect to one of the old cable-owned laptops. The plan is to get the OWL cameras set up on 2 MacBook laptops so that the cable staff can remote into one to control the other in the OWLs. After that is done, I will set up the OWL app on the Cable Reps Council iPad tablet as a backup for the council and utility meetings. In the meantime, I continue to film both meetings like I have been. Access would be granted to cable TV staff and cable rep from council. This would be via login to the tablet and MacBooks. The owls themselves will reside in City Hall and the utility buildings respectively unless needed otherwise. We will need to test our internet connections, etc. before going with these on a regular basis. The video archive resides in the media office at the library and served well to fulfill an open records request. Still working on a new PC laptop to run the Nexus broadcast system with. I've got it all set up, but trying to connect to the Nexus, it won't connect. The current computer connects via Wi-Fi too, so I'm researching what the issue could be. So even though we didn't have a meeting, there are things being done behind the scenes.
Very good, good report. Anything else to add? CD, we had no meeting, Recreation Committee. Okay.
Okay, yeah, we did meet, and our U10 soccer field has to be moved because it actually sits on property that the city doesn't own. And so we do have a soccer subcommittee that will make some recommendations, and once they've made recommendations, they will come back to the rec committee. But we believe that our spring soccer season will not be affected by this, but that we will have to move the U10 soccer field by fall soccer season. Jacob did distribute some strategic plans from other park and rec departments. You know, he's looking at, getting 4 or 5 goals kind of for future planning for the rec department. So we will continue to discuss that. Other updates, he will be contacting our last, summer help, see if she will come back. Hopefully she does. And as far as his report, softball has begun. There was not enough kids to run baseball. Spring soccer has started. Easter hunt was scheduled. Pickleball is going strong. T-ball signups are open as well as sand volleyball. And there is an end of the summer event being planned on August 24th at the Wild Goose Park. So, and I think that's about it.
Any questions for Kay? Thank you, Kay. Moving on, Utility Commission.
Can we go back to CDA for a second? I see there's minutes.
Yeah, you didn't meet this month. We canceled it tonight. You guys met in March. About the industrial park.
Oh, I goofed up on time here. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we did meet with the intention on relocating the ditch that kind of cuts diagonally through our remaining industrial park land, only to find out after the meeting was scheduled that the DNR needs like $50,000 just to tell us no. So that was kind of the end of our meeting. We met, I kind of brought them up to speed. MSA kind of looked into it, and for some reason that ditch is a navigable waterway, I guess is what they, yeah, it's just crazy. It cuts from the diagonal from Bullseye and kind of meanders, goes about 3 different directions in there, and it's really going to be a hardship to market that land unless they let us do something with it. They put it back on property line and run it in a straight line and tie in to the south the way it should be. But I did put Jason Lau on it, and he says, yeah, he says they've got like a $50,000 worth of permitting to go through, and then there's no guarantee. They could still tell you no. So at this time, until we get better answers than that, we didn't really take any action on it, and that was about the gist of our meeting. I can tell you that Autopet, Whisker, as I've known, they're looking to expand again. So they are looking for, they have a right of first refusal on 2 lots across the street, but they are exploring their other options as well, and are interested in that land as well. So good news for their business. They're up over 400 employees now and continue to grow. And they claim that they've only scratched a small percent of their market. So amazing. And it's good for Juneau. So that's about all I got for
So
CDA.
does that land extend beyond Bullseye, behind Bullseye to the south?
Yes. Yeah, it goes all the way to Weinheimer's Field and back there. We've got 40 acres. I didn't realize we had as much as what they claim we got there. But like I said, a good chunk of it is kind of intercepted. I mean, a guy could build over it, but you'd have to get permitting from DNR, but relocation of it, like I said, it sounds like you got to lay out 50 grand only for them to decide whether they're going to let you or not. So we didn't think the CDA is self-funded. We do have money, we could do that, but I didn't want to take the risk on sticking our neck out that far. So Jason's going to do a little bit more research on it and whatever, and find out if what they're saying is absolutely the only option we have there. So that's all we got from CDA. Utility.
The Commission discussed and approved change orders for the treatment plant upgrade. The additional cost would be $7,934. Nick presented the light pole options that we voted on. We approved the purchase of a Willie winch, which is a tool that's used to pull wires through the underground conduit. And this will eliminate the need to hire contractors to do that job. We approved converting a portion of the electrical service along Fair Street from overhead wires to underground. There's 3 poles that are next to the 1850s there that will be removed, and the wires will be run underground on the other side of the street, on the east side of the street. And also part of the project as they're doing the project, it'll go underneath Oak Street and into the parking lot there by Steel, is it still called Steel or?
Steelworks or Fletcher's building.
Fletcher's building.
The old Miller Auto.
Yeah, there you go. The electrical department has installed 50% of the piping at the Sunset View project. The company has been contracted to paint the fire hydrants around town. And Alex is requesting a replacement schedule for the 4 pumps at the wastewater treatment plant. He has rebuilt pumps, they're not performing well, and replacement seems to be a more prudent option. So the commission has asked Alex to get pricing for the new pumps, and we'll probably work out some type of schedule to replace them. That's about all I got. Dave, anything else?
No, the Willie Winch would hang on the bucket of some of the equipment we already own, so they could put it on there or back of a truck to pull the wires. So it'll be very useful.
I got a question for you, which has been brought up to me by like 10 or 12 people in the last couple of weeks. The chlorine taste in the water. I have no idea what's been going on with it. You guys must have dealt with it. I fortunately have a whole house filter with carbon. You know, it's a carbon filter. I didn't even know it was a problem, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't taste it. Everything gets taken out. This has been going on a year. And is there a timeline that this should be done, or, you know, we're gonna have an abatement of this? That's, you know, I don't, the utility can address it next month when they meet. I just like to know kind of what's going on. I read some of the stuff you get in the mail,
Right.
but I didn't think it was that bad, because I said, you know, I have a whole house filter.
Bottom line is the DNR mandated testing at the far end of our system for the chlorine content
Okay.
injected into our water. We were not getting it out to the far end of our system to what they deemed acceptable levels. So they recommended stepping up the injection process at each one of our wells, which naturally, you know, the closer you are to a well building, the stronger odor and taste you're gonna get of the chlorine that's being injected. Another unfunded mandate by the DNR, of course, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
So the utility went on record a couple months, 3 months ago, maybe, Richard, of hiring MSA to do a study
Yep.
and find out what we can do besides, apparently, the chlorine attacks scale on the piping throughout our system and
Yeah.
what have you. So they're gonna do some kind of study on an intense flushing system to try and get rid of some of that scale and what have you, and pinpoint the areas where it has to be done. Now, you two guys, not so much Dave, but Richard's been on it since we've had this issue. I guess if you want to add anything, Richard, I can't really.
Well, I would only add that they've actually, the MSA has not presented their plan yet, but our utility guys have been flushing certain areas. I know, I'm on a dead end, and they come down there and flush that area, I don't know, once a month or so. So they've actually started some of this. Alex has been very, very responsive to the complaints. There's a lot of social media complaints, and he's been on top of it. And he's done surveys, asking residents,
Time of day.
what kind, you know, how intense it is, that kind of stuff, how many complaints he's getting from certain areas.
Yeah.
And so he's been working on it diligently, I can tell you that.
Well, I know people, they've been working on it, but I just, you know, it's something that got brought up to me, yeah, basically new to me.
It's not gonna be an overnight fix.
Right.
That's what's gonna be unfortunate. It might go the balance of this year before we get it under hand, but it's just sad that, you know, every time they decide we have to do something different and it causes a problem, there's no funds to back it up. We have to study the MSA, what was it, $20,000, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
close to
11 or
that.
something like that.
Yeah,
But,
so,
you know, they test the water regularly, the water is safe.
safe,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
The
I
water
drink it
is,
every day.
I drink it all the time,
Me
but,
too.
you know, the water is safe, and I think we all, even though that smell is annoying,
Some people
they-
are more sensitive to it
Yeah.
than others.
but they do the testing and,
And quite frankly, your option at home is the best option. If people are really that upset about it, but we hear, why should we have to pay the rates we do for water and sewer and have to go out and pay $50 for a filter and what have you? And plus somebody to install it if you're not handy enough to do it yourself or
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, that's the simplest solution. Kay makes a valid point. The stuff is safe.
it's
And we're not
safe.
putting our customers in jeopardy. It is annoying, I know that. I notice it more so at my building because I'm closer to the well there than when I am at my house. I got a neighbor right across the street. We've got identical water softeners, put them both in and what have you. So our systems are, they have a more pronounced smell than mine has, you know, and what have you. And more of a pronounced
And
taste.
Alex is doing his very best.
Alex is doing great.
his very best
Yep.
at hearing the complaints and trying to resolve them
And
with,
he responds.
and very
right away.
responsive, all the requirements he has, so, yeah.
There was even something in the utility, in our utility bill,
Sure.
saying, this is the problem. If you feel you're having a problem at your home, please tell them, because they don't know which specific homes are having the problem
Right, so
about
they
it.
are trying to reach out, trying to get as
Yeah.
much data as they can.
Trying to
But I'm
create a
just-
target area for fixing it.
And I guess I'm guilty, I haven't responded because our own water is clear cloudy as it's running. And it's not like the full, I don't know. I was just kind of wondering, do we have an idea how long it might take to clear it all up?
We haven't even got the plan back
Yeah,
yet.
no,
That's the whole
MSA
problem.
has
I
to
was gonna
respond
say,
yet.
Rick's got it, he's
Here's
got a
a
map.
survey response, that this was the end of February. So these are all the people that responded to Alex's request. So
Okay.
he's gathering data,
Yeah.
MSA is working on it. Yeah,
All right.
And
Well,
people
thank-
were given a chance, I mean, to respond.
absolutely, and they still have it.
You were on Bellevue, no.
I'm guilty though, I didn't.
Yeah, you know, people don't respond. That's just the,
Complain about it every place else.
oh yeah, they won't respond.
You should
Right.
complain where it counts,
Right.
not on Facebook.
I feel like I've noticed it less lately. Maybe it's because we're not talking about it that I'm like not noticing it, but I feel like I haven't noticed the smell as often lately. It's maybe,
I think that's definitely gotten better.
but I don't know if that's just because
Well, maybe
out
that's-
of sight, I don't know. Yeah.
I use that water on my fish tank, 55 gallon, and they're not dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the cleanest fish.
My wife got the idea that our dog wasn't drinking it as much as she thought she should, so now she's hauling it in by 5-gallon jugs from the Burnett well up there.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Actually, there are people on my street that go up to Burnett and fill up their jugs.
There are.
Because they don't want, like, they hate the water.
Yeah.
Because they don't
It's
trust
good
it.
exercise.
And that's groundwater.
Well, yeah, but, you know, you smell chlorine, chlorine's not good for you. It might be, you get small amounts, not gonna harm you, but, you know, there is that, you know.
Nope, valid point, valid point.
Yeah, he's
Anything,
working on it.
anything else from utility tonight?
No,
Okay. Moving on, any old business? New business, approved provincial licenses for 45 days for Katrina Barrera and Tracy Marthaler Scott. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Morose, second by Foodie. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approved regular bartender's license expires June 20th, 2024.
30th.
Oh, June 30th, 2024 for Katrina Barrera. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Grattan, second by Runge. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. No other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Morose,
Second.
second by Foodie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This meeting is closed. Lunch was served, and a good time was had by all.
Yeah, they-
To be honest.
I did. I had mentally prepared for this.